All right, let's just jump into it. I want to make sure we have enough time to get through everything today. So, this is a pile of cards. So we've got, the basic idea here is we've got Sai, Master Thopterist, and URza, Lord High Artificer, to allow us to generate value and mana and stuff off of various artifacts. And then the cornerstone of this deck is we've got Paradoxical Outcome to return a number of non-land, non-token permanents we control to their owner's hand, and then draw a card for each card that's returned this way. So this allows us to kind of draw through our deck with these 0s and 1 mana artifacts, as well as these 2 mana artifacts to a degree, and then eventually generate Storm Count to either kill with Grapeshot or gain a bunch of life while having Aetherflux Reservoir in play and then killing them that way. So, as always, the key to not being disappointed in life is maintaining low expectations. So expect a little and occasionally be surprised. Let's dive into it. Lord of the Pearl Trident. It is, in fact, almost sword time. Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Morning, Jen. Something not too far off from this idea actually did well. I think it was in the Modern Challenge last weekend, although it had a black splash instead of a red splash alongside what we're doing here. Morning, Misbits. I would love to play first. Thank you for asking. This is probably a mulligan, right? If I had a second land, I'd snap this off, but without a second land, especially on the play, this just doesn't do anything. Yeah, this hand is fine. We're gonna bottom a PO, I think. Hey, congrats, Misfits. This isn't a Bonesaw stream. Bonesaw is in fact not ready. Ginger Cake, thanks for the 26 months of support. That's a long time. Welcome back. So, you can see here as my opponent and I both have snow-covered islands in play. I think there's a good chance that Astrolabe is like quietly the most busted card in, well, maybe second most busted now that, what's it called? Now that Hogok's banned. But like, Astrolabe to me really feels like an attune with the Aether level card. It's just like this card that like goes into a pile of different things. And it's just very, very subtly very powerful. Hey, oh my gosh. Speaking of Astrolabe, that was a straight misstep. Thanks for the brand new Twitch Prime sub, PS. Welcome, I appreciate it. Yeah, I saw the 4-color Saheeli build with the snow cards, and I really don't understand what percentage points you pick up by doing that. So I'm not quite sure why that's something worth doing in there. Alright, so my opponent's playing Twiddlestorm here, so they're gonna take a little bit and draw a bunch of cards, and so basically what their deck does, we played this deck on stream before. You use the Splice onto Arcane mechanic here to use Psychic Puppetry to basically make all of your spells free or generate extra mana. And you chain through your deck while untapping this Lotus Field again and again and again. And eventually, you cast Grapeshot and kill your opponent. They have 8 cards in their hand. Like, I could probably just concede here for the sake of time. They're not 100% to win, but they're pretty likely to win. I think a new green flash creature looks great. Both the wolf and the 2-drop seem good. Morning, Paula. The new 4-drop wolf has flash, right? We can pull up spoilers while my opponent masturbates vigorously. There's this guy, the Elf Archer, that's a 2/2 with flash. Wicked Wolf. Oh, Wicked Wolf doesn't have flash, does it? I guess I just lumped it in with the other one, because the other 4-drop wolf. Yeah, you're right, this doesn't. I wish I would just cast Pass and Flame so I could concede. Hey, look, there's new spoilers. Let's go look at these while our opponent figures out what they're doing. Power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Neat. They're probably brawl cards. Return target creature, convert a mana cost X to its owner's hand. Create X blue fairies. Why is this sorcery? Why aren't my fairies flashy, chat? My fairies are supposed to be flashy. Okay, they cast Pass and Flames. We can concede now. Pack it up, pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. So that was a turn 3 kill our opponent. Our slow, fair modern. I think we're gonna see. I think as the hype starts to die down surrounding Stoneforge Mystic in general, we're gonna see more of these decks do well in general. I think there's definitely a, what's the word that I'm searching for there, and we saw this after Bloodbraid and Jace got unbanned too. I think the online digitally, the format's a lot more fair right now than I think the format will end up being with these unbans, just because there's a lot of excitement when new cards get unbanned, and it's much easier to get access to new cards on Magic Online, so the format tends to be more fluid as people want to try new things. You'll see this when new sets and new cards, new modern playable cards get printed too. So as people realize Stoneforge Mystic's not the end-all be-all, you'll start seeing like the number of results that it's posting in like the Modern Challenge events and stuff like that die down, and thus decks that prey on them, that have, you know, matchups that are hard against things like Twiddlestorm and Burn and these other linear decks, those decks will back off as well. I think Twiddlestorm fits in. I am not convinced that Twiddlestorm's consistent enough to be a reasonable deck. It definitely has draws like that where it just kills on turn 3, but the fact that like your deck has to have this land, there's two core issues with the Twiddlestorm deck from my experience playing it twice. The first is that you have to have this land to go off, and there's just going to be a lot of games where you don't have that land. The second is that the Twiddlestorm deck's required to play a bunch of, like, Dirtle-Do-Nothing cards, so when you're not comboing, you just have a bunch of bricks that aren't, like, cantripping and helping you get set up. So, like, you have all the Twiddle effects that are effectively just, like, blank text boxes when you're not going off. So, Panza, you're not looking very hard if you can't see a reason to play Twiddlestorm over Traditional Storm. There is an upside. So, the appeal to playing the Twiddlestorm variation as opposed to Traditional Storm is that Twiddlestorm is harder to interact with. So, you have to have discard spells, counter spells, or potentially Graveyard Hate if they're on the Past and Flames plan to interact with the Twiddlestorm deck, whereas Traditional Storm, in order for it to go off quickly, they have to have a dork in play. So you're removing an axis of interaction, even though you are adding a dependency on finding this land card. Lands, especially a hexproof land, are much harder to interact with in Modern. So there's definitely an upside there. I don't know if it's a worthwhile upside, but it definitely exists. With the fact that Watch is willing to ban Faithless Looting, if I get back into Modern with URza, should I be concerned that Mox Opal should be banned? Yes. In my mind, finally banning Faithless Looting means that nothing is safe. Someone posted in Discord this morning that Mox Opals were like $130. And God, honestly, I'm shocked and appalled. I can't believe the company that let Mox Opal costs $130, wants Historic to cost double wild cards. It just blows my mind. I can't believe it, chat. Can you believe it? Alright, are we just worrying for... I think we're just, like, worrying for Mox Opal here. That way we can start POing next turn. Or, like, Whir for Mox Opal, cast Relic. Yeah, exactly, Jin. Alright, we gonna kill on turn 3 again? Alright, begin again. Killed on turn 3 twice in a row. Yep. So they get to draw 3 and untap their land, so pretty likely to kill us from here. I'm gonna go ahead and move on with myself. Is that true, Jim? I don't know that I have. I really wasn't playing Standard before Mythics existed. Arcbound Ravager hit $20 when it was in Standard, right? But that was kind of an exception because that format was super polarized. I believe that was an exception. Yeah, but Thragtusk was in a post mythic world. Well, Jace was in Standard Bite Sculptor, broke $100. Yeah, Mythics. Yep. That was also a pretty exceptional format, though. Like, Jace the Mind Sculptor hitting $100 is like the mythic equivalent of Arcbound Ravager hitting 20, right? Because, like, Jace was, like, omnipresent in that format, similar to how Arcbound Ravager was omnipresent in its standard format. But, yeah. Yeah, the whole Historic thing is just, it's so wild to me. Like, I super empathize with Magic's too expensive and I wish it was cheaper, but all the people that are pretending like this is new are they're just idiots. They're just super disingenuous turds. Like... There is very, very much a precedent for the pricing that's happening with Historic. I guess. Hand sucks, keep. I don't buy that argument, Max. I think that argument's kind of lazy. Hot take. Limited sucks because there's powerful bombs regardless of if they're mythics or rares. I think it still sucks. Anybody buying we added mythics to the game to make limited better is drunk on the Kool-Aid. That's my take. My take is anyone who wants to buy we added mythics to the game because we added mythics to the game to make limited better. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona, and climate change hasn't quite gotten that far yet, so... All right, name Lightning Bolt with the Meddling Mage. That's a safe. That's a good name off of turn 1 Scalding Tarn. I like that. So we'd like to draw a 0-drop next turn, so that way we can drop URza. Yeah, I agree, Demir. And I mean, in a lot of ways, the monetization in Arena is in large part due to them seeing the dollar bills in Hearthstone's eyes, right? And like wanting some of that money. And we're just dead again. This is going about how I expected it to go. Our deck's done functionally nothing, while our opponent's efficient, brutal, real modern decks have just brutalized us. Isn't double wildcards in Arena kind of the same as $10 Modern Master Packs? Yeah, it is in a lot of ways. T-Banks, thanks for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Company Humans. That's sweet. Yeah, I guess Prismatic Vista says they're not playing normal 5-color humans, right? Good golly. Rip. Rip. Yeah, a lot of what we're seeing in Arena is just like WotC deciding to get their cut of the MTG finance pie, basically, right? Like they're like, enough's enough. We make the game. We want to profit from the game making lots of dollars. So they want to make the Star City dollars, basically. They want to make the TCG player dollars, the Cool Stuff Inc. dollars. Alright, I'm bringing in Bridges and Abrades. I guess, like, is Bridge even that good here? I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time getting my hands super empty, but we'll see, I guess. Yay, I agree, Jin. The price to own everything is not terrible. Like I said, I can empathize with people who wish it was cheaper, because people always want to be able to play more Magic, but the people that get me aren't the people that are like, I wish this was cheaper. The people that frustrate me are the ones that are like, there's no reason to do this. It's like, yeah, there's a really big reason to do it. You just don't like the reason. Arena is cheaper than Netflix. Is that strictly true? Not to own everything, right? So Netflix, can anybody, what does Netflix cost these days? Like 13 bucks? Because like, at 100 bucks a set, you have most things in Arena is what it comes down to. There's no need to own. You're right. There's not a need to own every card, but a lot of people want to own every card. That's the thing. And that's where like the kind of the sense of entitlement comes from a lot too, is like people don't just want to be able to play Arena, because you can play Arena for like a very low cost. It's like people want to be able to own everything. And to own everything gets more expensive. I agree with you that, like, owning one deck a season is much cheaper than Netflix. Yeah. At the end of the day, and just let the complainers complain, and those of us that enjoy things can enjoy them. Different strokes for different folks. People who aren't happy will eventually move on. Well, some of them will move on. Others will stick around and keep complaining, but a lot of them will move on eventually. or they won't move on, and if they don't move on, then they're really silly. Am I playing out this other Mox? I'll play out this other Mox. Probably want to draw a card here. Yeah, I agree, Pelly. I think a lot of, remember, at the end of the day, you speak with your wallet, and I think a lot of people aren't upset enough to not buy things. The group of people who are upset enough to not buy things are probably a minority. Yep. Phantasmal Image is an interesting one in the Collected Company deck. It's pretty powerful here, though. So they attack with a 6/6 here. We're going to block with a Thopter and then sack the Thopter and the Mox Amber to draw a card. WotC definitely cares about the paper element of Magic. The thing that people who talk about WotC not caring about the paper element of Magic, what WotC likely doesn't care about to a degree, I don't even know if that's true with the latest organized play announcements, but the thing that a lot of people make the mistake of conflating a lot of the time is that competitive paper Magic is not the same as paper Magic in general. So I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, they named it. I was like, why can't I cast this? They named it Ensnaring Bridge. That makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we're headed towards a world where most competitive Magic moves to MTGO and Magic Arena and stuff like that. Just, you know, look at the amount of cheating and stuff that goes on. So this Paradoxical Outcome just actually doesn't do anything here, right? I guess I'm gonna sack this Inventors Fair and go get a Mox Opal. I guess I could go get something a little bit better than Mox Opal. I could go get like Welding Jar, or I could go get an Ichor Wellspring here, because this lets me tap these for mana. That was a good series. Okay. All right, we're doing stuff, chat. We're figuring it out. We're fumbling and bumbling a little bit, but we're figuring out. Wonder why they stopped covering the events. I think saying they stopped covering events because of cheating is likely a stretch. The old 9/9 Karnstruck holding down the fort here. Wonder if this one's gonna name Abrade since that's the removal spell we showed them. Could just name Ensnaring Bridge again too, though. They named Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Upside to playing kind of a wonky brew, as people don't necessarily know what to make choices like this. Yep, they don't have good attacks here, so I'm going to go ahead and make blue. Blue. I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to sacrifice these two. Am I? I guess I'm not. I guess I'm going to just PO next turn, right? And I want to pick all of these up. Yeah, that's the better line. Let's just PO next turn. Oh, I could have Urza'd. Yeah, totally could have Urza'd. Yeah, good call. This ignores timing restrictions too, right? Oh, I could tap the Wellspring for mana too. Yep. That's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. Does Urza ignore timing restrictions, chat? It doesn't ignore timing. Okay, then doing it at end of turn doesn't make a lot of sense if it doesn't ignore timing restrictions. Well, I don't know that the PO part of our deck is good, but Urza Sai is definitely busted. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch. That doesn't really do anything, right? Oh, I should have sacked this, right? Yeah, that's the better line. Look at that. We're figuring out things we should be doing. I keep not tapping this, and I need to start tapping it. All right, I think I'm just passing here. I think I want extra chump blockers here, so let's just pass back. Wait, I could whir for a bridge here, right? I probably want to do that when they enter combat. Oh no, I don't have. No, yeah, I have blue because these make blue, right? Oh, I just did that for 2. Whoopsie poopsie. That'll be fine. I'm excited to ban a lot of people on the comments of this video where we've misclicked a couple of times. And my opponent clicked through their combat step. GG. All right, look at that. Look at that. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Oh, this is past a 3-3. Bigger than a 3-3. Ooh. Alright, they should be dead this turn, right? If they're not dead this turn, our deck's unplayable. There's a good chance our deck's unplayable. But I'm hoping that they're dead this turn. Good golly, tapping. Okay, I can hold my auto tap hotkey. That's good to know. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I should. I left the stupid steam vents up again. Alright, so let's cancel. Alright, I'm gonna leave 1 snow mana floating. So that way I can replay these Astrolabes. Did it really just use my snow mana by default? Did it really? It really just auto-used my snow mana. Dang it. Dang it, Magic Online. Alright, we'll make black snow mana. Alright, there we go. I like how there's a bunch of generic blue mana in my mana pool, and then it elected to use the special mana. Alright, opponent conceded because they are also convinced my deck should kill them from this position. Got it. They're just like, I've had enough of watching this idiot fumble and fail to tap his mana. I'm tapping out. GG, Hogland. GG. This guy barely knows how the interface works. I've had enough. Do I trim some bridges, assuming that's what they're going to name? That might be crazy. I'm going to trim the last one and bring in an Echoing Truth. So Moto doesn't have an auto tap feature. What it has is there's a hotkey you can hold where when you hold the hotkey and tap a mana source, it automatically makes the first type of mana that can make. The Omni Z, thank you for the 28 months of support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. And then, like, when you cast a spell, if you have mana floating, it, like, tries to use it automatically, but, like, right there, it, like, used my snow mana first for some reason. Yeah, Neobrand has to be a completely miserable deck to play in paper. Because, like, you have to sit there while your opponents just, like, do nothing. And, like, your matches take 5 minutes, and then, like, you have to wait for the next round to start. Like, that sounds terrible. So I can't quite Whir for Bridge this turn. But I can play Psy out. And then Psy lets me play Astrolabe. It's like a pretty good turn. Hey, look, a bridge. I played Neo versus Neobrand in paper. Game 1 was 5 minutes. Game 2 I mulled to 3, and the game lasted 25 minutes. Game 3 lasted the rest of the round. Yikes. Fam Squid, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Oh, where's my dashboard at? For a Wrinkle Master of Pranks Build-A-Bear. Sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know what all those cards do offhand. I assume they enable an infinite Kiki combo. But again, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know exactly what all those cards do. Man, it's so wild that URza is just free. He just, like, actually costs 0 mana. It's just like, and for my next trick... Yellow Kiwi, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, by BT Dubs, I have a 7/7. They have a basic mountain in their deck? I guess that explains... I guess basic mountain explains why they're on Prismatic Vista. Deputy of Detention, sure. Would you like my bridge, or would you like my giant construct? You're taking my URza? You're a monster. No, not my URza. Is it good, Vorthos, that URza's busted? It feels like half the cards with his name are busted. I mean, URza's supposed to be incredibly powerful. Hey, look, another creature that can't attack. Man, and with Psy out, if I deploy this second bridge, they can't even Deputy of Detention both bridges away because I can sack the one they target, right? Yeah, when if I draw an Abrade and kill this Deputy of Detention, I get another construct. Besides throne packs, what should I buy and how many of them? So the how many question is dictated by how much you're willing to spend. The which packs you should buy, I think Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance are going to remain like top purchases for as long as they're in Standard, just because they contain the Shocklands, and Shocklands are going to be Standard staples for as long as they're legal. And they'll be staples in Historic too as well. So, while we don't know exactly what things are going to cost and what's going to be good, usually about $100 gets you most things. And this isn't a mono artifact, so I can tap it and it still has an effect. Yeah, I can. Yeah, anybody who remembers mono artifacts? Anybody? Bueller? Deck needs Metalworker. Alright, so let's do this, and let's sack these two and draw a card. Cast this. It's $100 for the first deck and about $50 for cards after that. Yeah, that sounds great. If you throw 50 at 3 different sets or 45 at 3 different sets, that'll get you a good base to do a lot with. You'll get a good chunk of wild cards. You'll have a good bit of just playable stuff too. I think that's a very, very reasonable buy-in. This card's just so dumb. Decks that combo kill, like this deck can combo kill, should not be able to grind as well as this deck grinds. It's honestly kind of wild to me, and it really kind of shows just like how hard it is to evaluate cards in my mind, because the thing, if you would have told me the thing that puts URza over the top during spoiler season was pay 5 mana draw a card, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But like, it really is the thing that puts him over the top is the pay 5 mana draw a card. It's quite absurd. So like this Deputy Attention comes into play, it targets my Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to make 2 blue mana, and I'm going to sack the Ensnaring Bridge. So we use Sai, and we're going to sack... This is targeting this one, so we're going to sack this and a Thopter. So, Deputy of Detention's trigger is countered upon resolution because its target's gone, so I keep my other Ensnaring Bridge. I'm pretty sure Mark Roadswater went on record at one point saying we weren't going to get fetch lands back into Standard. I don't have a source for that offhand, but I thought that was words that came out of his computer at some point. I hope they do not print fetch lands. I would prefer that we don't have another fetch shock format in Historic. Fetch lands are miserable in paper. That being said, from the Wizards of the Coast is a business that likes money perspective, fetch land sells standard booster packs like no other cards can because, well, let's just look up the price of Scalding Tarn here, shall we? What do Scalding Tarns cost? Scalding Tarns on Cool Stuff Inc. are 100 American dollars a piece. Can you believe that the company that let Scalding Tarn hit 100 American dollars wants to charge you 2-for-1 for wild cards? I am shocked. Cannot believe it. It is completely out of left field that the company that let those cost $100, like, again, it's so shocking to me that people are shocked by it. We're not shocked, we're just disappointed. You know, there's a lot of people who are shocked, Mail Branch. There's a lot of people who are like, there's no reason for this. This is unprecedented, like. I think that $100 is $20 cheaper than yesterday. Coral Helm Commander. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. The old level up. Alright, I've got my Islands, which for those of you who are not familiar with the Merfolk matchup, that means I'm not blocking. These lands were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these islands are gonna walk all over you. If we lose to fish, should we throw the deck away? Nah, decks like this tend to be bad against fish. Especially when we have islands in it. You automatically bump to customer level 9. I am not. I'm sure I could probably ask for something like that, though. I don't own that many paper Magic cards, and like, we already have enough board games. The board game wall in my dining room doesn't really need more stuff in it. Customer levels on cool stuff. It's their loyalty rewards program, basically. The more dollary dues you give them, the better discounts on their stuff you get. Yeah, we don't really use a dining room gin. Like we have a table that seats 6 in our kitchen. So like our dining room is literally a wall with board games stacked up against it, and then like a folding table. Also, I don't understand, the dining room has carpet in it. Which that's just very silly. If we ever redo some, that was like the one thing in this house was like, this is stupid. Why'd you, especially when you have children, like you don't allow your children to eat over the carpet. That's just asking for trouble. Yeah, I mean, my family eats meals together. We just do it in the kitchen. You bet there's beautiful hardwood under that carpet too. I bet there's not, actually. This house is only 11 years old. And it was a high-end rental unit before we owned it, so there weren't people living in it constantly while it existed for the years before we had it. I would like to gain 4 now, because I might not have the option to gain 4 in the future. Yeah, block while we can is exactly correct. We're gonna diddle my Sai. Hey, diddle diddle, the fish and the fiddle. The Sai jumped over the moon. We're dismembering my URza. That's rude. I liked my URza opponent. Why would you dismember him? I loved him. What did he ever do to you? Alright, hopefully we get another turn and get to draw some cards next turn. Yikes. Might not be getting another turn here. Dead to a lord, right? Oh, that kills Karnstructs. Woof. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. One Ensnaring Bridge, please. No, don't diddle my Sai again. As always, there's a deck list on your screen. You can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to a deck list. So if I PO, I can't cast Bridge, right? I guess I can PO. And even if I PO and I draw a Bridge, I'm not going to be able to have few enough cards in my hand to prevent them from attacking anyways, right? So I think the line here is play Ichor Wellspring and hope to draw it. I believe we are dead. Gifting subs is a one-time thing. The only thing that auto renews on Twitch is your own personal sub, and you can also turn that off if you go into your subscription settings. You can set it to not renew if you have set up a paid sub. All right, we're gonna bring in the fistful of. We only have 3 Ensnaring Bridges game 1. Because we have 1 and then 2 Whirs, so we get to bring in a giant fistful of them here. Cut Needle, Relic, Tormod's Crypt. Probably at least 1 Welding Jar, honestly. Alright, let's try it. Do I want Echoing Truth? If yes, what do I want to cut and why do I want to cut that? Remember, my deck at its core is kind of an engine/combo deck. So every card I sideboard in that's not part of my core engine comes at a real cost. My deck's goal isn't to be some kind of control deck. Sorry about that. My oldest came home from school early yesterday with a fever, so he's homesick today. My wife is upstairs with him, but I just wanted to make sure that they were all okay since he came down. Am I using an Aeron? I am not. The Aerons with the headrests were, when I looked at them, they were like $1,200. So I spent, I think this chair retailed for like $600 or so. It had good reviews though. I wanted a high back chair, but I didn't want to spend $1,000 on it. Yep. Alright, well, let's just get this down while they're tapped out. I mean, it is a business expense. I don't know. I don't know that I believe that I've sent the team chair back. I did not, but the racer is a little bit worse than a good office chair. It's also cheaper than a good office chair. Like, for, you know, the 250 or 300 bucks that the racer costs, it's a fine chair. It's just not as good as my $600 office chair. Is the TLDR. Land would be great here. Mox Opal also okay. Paradoxical Outcome I can't cast. Yep, sounds right. So I can whir for 1, I guess. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. And whir for 2, technically. Maybe they drop another Lord into play, and then I whir and make it so they can't attack. So I don't want to whir for a draw because then I'm dead on board. And we're dead on board anyways. This is going about as expected, honestly. No, so Twin was banned in Modern to shake up a Pro Tour. That's why Splinter Twin was banned in Modern. Splinter Twin was banned in Modern because it had been a presence at every Modern Pro Tour up until that time, and they wanted their Pro Tour to be exciting. So they banned one of the cornerstones of the format, even though it was not putting up absurd results. How long till Tribal Zoo? Till this deck's done? How long is that? I don't know. Is Modern gonna Modern? Hey, Lumberjack. Thanks for the 60 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah. I played Birthing Pod and then played Twin. It was painful. You know, you're not alone in that experience, JW. And I think a big part of players complaining or like that being a negative experience for them is a big part of why we don't see bans like we saw then anymore. Like, I think, like, those... let's just play Tribal Zoo. I'm off this deck. I think a big part of those bans, like, killing people's entire decks, is a big part of why we didn't see them manage the format for a long time. Hey, Ziggy Prime, coming in with that brand new Twitch Prime. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. Has Moto locked up? I think Moto might have crashed. Thanks, Ziggy. Welcome to Hoaglandia. I appreciate you keeping me around. All right, well, I was going to pull the deck up and talk about it here, but apparently I'm going to restart. Oh, nope, it came to. Moto has recovered. Moto apparently hasn't had its coffee yet this morning. Yeah, so it's just kind of slow and clunky, and like, basically, in general, the question you need to ask yourself a fundamental question in Modern. Does your deck Goldfish a turn 3 kill with some consistency, or is it able to interact consistently on turns 1, 2, 3 before then? And this deck doesn't do either of those things. And like our one win in that league was against a humans deck that was kind of slow that we were able to lock out with Ensnaring Bridge. But even then, this deck's not that good of a bridge deck. Like we saw in that Merfolk game where like our opponent, where we just like had our hand cards just get clunked up because like when we have this many 3s and 4s, our bridges are just a lot less effective. Yeah, the reason was different, Zara. And like you can go back and look at like Pro Tours and Grand Prix and stuff like that and see like what results were happening back then. This is like URza. I don't know that that's strictly true. I think what you're doing there is a false equivalency that a lot of people make in Magic a lot of the time. It's very common that players will go, oh, this deck shares a key cornerstone card with another deck, so they're the same thing. And I think that's just a bad way to approach Magic in general. One of the things you need to think about is that in Magic decks are 60 cards, right? But a third or more of those cards are lands a lot of the time. So in reality, a lot of the cards that you're really picking and choosing in a Magic deck, there's like 30 to 40 of them. So like, if you change even 10 cards in a deck, you've effectively changed a third of the deck, oftentimes resulting in something just different or new. So I think comparing this to the URza decks is nonsense just because they both have URza for that reason. All right, let's roll along to something aggressive for the second Modern deck. And play some Tribal Zoo here. Who likes 5-color mush, chat? I know I do. Are you ready to bleed for your mana, chat? I know I'm ready to bleed for my mana. Dr. Siegeman Rhinoceros, PhD. Misery Systems. Cashing in that prime for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Temporarily moved across the country for the year, and yours and SO's content were basically the only things keeping my interest in Magic before I moved back. Keep up the good work. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. We do have some goodies here. All right, let's stand up before we die.